and Storm's just about to finish.
Oh, Oz being a little bit indecisive with his units there.
He doesn't have an observer with his army,
no.
So there's a mistake that Jinro needed. He's going to be able to use these Banshees to go after the Templar.
Oh, clutch from Archon.
Archon, and he's actually pushing the Archon so that it doesn't actually get taken out. That's a nice trick if you can do that on purpose. It's not that hard. And now finally he does have an observer with his army, but... what is that tag doing there?
I don't know. It looks like the rally point actually messed things up here for Jinro. Half his units coming around the other side. He needs to find a good position to engage here. He is down 50 supply though. Doesn't look good.
Yeah. That was the closest to the big mistake that we've seen so far from Oz, but now he's got Storm done. He's got the range, charge is finished. All of his tech is now kicking in, and he's making more and more units. The supply gap is growing. So Jinro needs to make something happen now if he wants to actually try and make his way back.
Because of his unit composition, it's probably not going to happen in time, because Oz is just going to sit here. He's going to come in from three different angles. And here he comes. Speed Zealot straight in there. A Colossus from the left, as well as the top store. What?
Oh my god, those storms.
Yeah, there's a GG if I ever saw one. Storms covering everything. And Oz taking down game 1 in between Liquid Jinro and FXO's Oz. Let's go into game 2 right now.
Hi, my name is Haksu Kim. You're watching FXO television.
Here we go, game number 2 between Jinro and Oz for the FXOpen Invitational Series. We are still in round 1 here, so lots of games to go, guys. Of course, we do have Jinro over here on the right-hand side as our yellow Terran, currently down 1 game due to that very early pressure coming in from Oz. As I was saying, with the 4 gateway follow-up after the fast expand, very frustrating for Terrans to deal with if you get caught off guard. And it pretty much went downhill from then the entire way. So, Oz over here on the left-hand side. I am unstable, joined by Railcoon for these games today. We will be mixing up the casters for the next week, but we want to get this system sorted out, of course, before we did that. Okay, so we are going to have nothing out of the ordinary just yet.
What?
I said we're going to have nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Just way too early.
No.
Not uncommon to see Oz throw in a random cheese every now and then.
Yeah, be curious to see how Jinru reacts, because he played his more traditional style that last game, and Oz did a really good job of just abusing it. You could see he pressured him early, did a good amount of damage, and then just started playing really greedy, because he knew he was really far ahead, just leaped really far ahead in the tech tree. So Jinro's probably going to try something different. He's going for a relatively quick gas. It's not a gas first, so he's going to be going for Blue Flame Hellions or Banshees or something here off of one base, most likely.
It's been a while since we've seen the Reaper expand as well. I think it's really fallen a little bit out of favor recently. But Oz isn't going for his 15 Nexus like he did last time. He's already got his Gateway finishing up. He's got his gas going, of course.
Yeah, Dual Sight's just a smaller map. It's harder to get away with that on this map, even against a player like Jinro, because if you try that on this map, he's gonna scout it out pretty quick. He's just gonna like try and bunker you or something. It can be kind of difficult. You can see there is a second barracks going down for Jinro. He's gonna be opening with the 2 racks. This is interesting, as this is one of the strategies that just is constantly around. Yeah. Even when you don't see it very often, there's always the threat of getting 2 racks. And we'll see. He has the reactor first, so he could be rather aggressive with this, or he could just sit back and 2 racks expands. So that's the thing about the 2 racks, is you're never quite certain how aggressive they're going to be with it until they're done and they're moving across the map with their units.
Yeah. Well, the fact that the last game happened the way it is, it could actually just be an expand behind this, just being extremely safe. And that can happen when things like catch you off guard like that with a lot of early pressure. But interestingly, we have a second gateway here from Oz, not going for his expansion as early as normal, so both of them sitting back a little bit. Looking at Oz's vision, of course didn't see the second barracks. There is an SCV hiding behind the tree over here.
Yeah, that's an interesting spot for the SCV to be hanging out. Maybe he's trying to figure out how to build a tree house or something, because that's a pretty good tree for a tree house. It fit up there quite nicely. He's like trying to figure out, why can't I make a supply depot up here? But we do have combat shields on the way and a Marauder, so Jinro is actually going to be relatively aggressive with this.
Yep.
The combat shields usually does lend itself to some aggression. Oz does get far enough up the ramp to see a lot of Marines and the 3 barracks, the 3 supply depot wall off, excuse me. So he is going to be rather suspicious of aggression just by seeing that many Marines and the wall off like that. So he's probably not going to be throwing down an expansion. He has his robotics facility almost done. I'm wondering if he might sniff this out and just make an immortal.
It could be quite possible. We do see the factory halfway down, of course.
There's an immortal. Yeah, so this is not an uncommon build, what Jinro is doing right now, to have a lot of Marines with combat shields and Marauders mixed in. So he's getting a quick immortal out just to be safe. He's got the 2 sentries for force fields, Zealot and a Stalker. He's got a pretty good idea of what Jinro's doing right now. Except Jinro just made a bunker. Why is he making a bunker? I thought he was going to be aggressive.
He's just a little bit paranoid here by the looks of it. He's got his starport going, so this is definitely a 1-base play. And he might just wait and mass up and go out.
Usually you pressure with this build, though. This is actually really unusual for Jinro to sit back and wait this long.
Well, Oz is expanding behind this, getting an observer first. And here we go, Jinro moving out with his units now. But looking at the army sizes, they're pretty much deadly even. Stim has just been started now for Jinro. And with the Immortal out as well, I don't see him doing as much damage as he'd like to up here.
Yeah. I think the fact that he stopped and made that bunker is a kind of a big mistake for this. If he moved out earlier, he probably would have been able to do some damage. He would have forced Oz back up into his main base, but it would have delayed the expansion for a bit here. But as it stands right now, he's got a lot of units. There's more warping in. They're still even in the army supply, and Jinro is still being very tentative. Look at this. He's actually just checking the watchtowers, not even going for the pressure. And with him playing this passive, I would have expected to see a command center, but there's no command center on the way yet. Looks like he's trying to transition into it like a 2-1-1 or something.
Yeah, it does seem like that. He's got siege mode on the way. He's got a medivac out as well. But there's 2 immortals over here for Oz already. He's now transferring workers. Looking at this, is 31 to 26 in the work account. And 2 more gateways are on the way. Possibly 3? 3 more gateways on the way now. Yeah, I don't see this working out too well for Jinro. By the time he gets down to the bottom side of the map, and by the time Stim and Siege Mode research, there's going to be so much stuff here for Oz.
The Observer is just like hanging out over the army right now too. So he sees everything that Jinro is doing right now, and he's just adjusting accordingly.
Yeah.
I think Jinro just played too tentative in the early game. He would have had a nice opportunity to delay Oz or do some damage, but he was just too hesitant and didn't go for it.
I was actually moving out in the middle of the map. Might want to try and catch Jinro off guard if he comes down. Because as you were saying, he has his Observer over the entire army. Oh, not anymore. As I say that. Also has a pylon over here.
A good idea of what's going on. And he saw that there was no Banshees on the way, so this isn't a 2-1-1. It's a Biomech pulling SCVs, but not all of his SCVs. At this point, if you're going to pull SCVs, I'd bring them all, because this is already...
Oh, this is actually going to cut him in half here by the looks of... Oh no, he's going to back off. And looking at the army supplies, 45 to 41 in favor of Jinro.
So, oh my god, Jinro got concussive. He actually shot the Stalkers, they didn't get slowed, and then he immediately started concussive on his tech lab.
Yeah.
So he thought that he had concussive shells. Oh my god, that force field! Completely chopping Jinro in half on that ramp.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everything's just going down so quickly now for Jinro, and Oz pulling back, going to wait for another warp in round, and that army has just been cut in half by Jinro. Not only did it delay quite a while, he's going to get an Observer over the army again, killed off quite a few units. He's now even completely concaved around here as Jinro moves forward. Bunkers are going down for Jinro, but I don't think Oz is going to let him do that for any point in time. He's not going to let him get up, and yeah, here he goes. He's bringing probes in as well, coming in, focuses down the tanks on either end quite nicely.
Nice force fields, trapping units in behind the building, bunker, and the tank.
Yeah.
So they have absolutely nowhere to retreat to. Then the Zealots coming in with the probes, just cleaning everything up. He tried to load up in the medevacs, but the Stalkers are focusing that down. That's pretty much GG.
And there it is, GG coming out from Jinro. Oz taking the set pretty convincingly in both games, but of course that is kind of expected given the way he's been playing in his PvT recently. Now, we are going to go into the next game. Let's go right now, because I want to see it.
Hello, my name is Byung-se-ho. I'm Tower Terra. You watching FXO TV.
And we're back with the FX Open Invitational Series Upper Bracket Round 1, and this is the game I've been waiting to cast the entire week. As soon as I saw this guy was in this tournament, it is going to be TSL's Hyun up against Slayer's Clyde in a best-of-3 matchup. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon today, and I cannot wait to see what this kid can do, considering he has been practicing hard. He's just made it into Code A. But then again, he's up against one of my favourite players on the other hand, which is going to be Clyde. I don't know who to root for, Railcoon. I don't know.
Hyun. Gotta root for Hyun.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Why?
Clyde gets rooted for enough by Tastosis alone. I mean, he doesn't need extra rooting. Those two are like always in the background every time he's playing, just like holding up cheerfuls, going Clyde.
Yeah, but that being said, it is going to be on an Antigua shipyard, and this map I really like for this matchup. It's of course GSL version, no gold minerals, and cross position spawns. As you can see, the Overlord's heading out in the middle of the map now. But that being said, there is 13. Okay, Clyde is actually look like he's going to go for the 15 command center because he's got a couple of SCVs queued up. He's already on 13 supply, and Hyun might actually take.
He's just scouting around his third, like, you're not proxying me, right? It's becoming really common on this map with the forced cross spawns that people start placing buildings in really tricky spots.
Yeah.
So, very good scouting pattern there by him. You can see he's sending his Overlord not quite straight across the center of the map, a little bit over the left, just in case Clyde starts hunting for it with some Marines. But just really intelligent opening so far from Hyun. Clyde is going command center first, and we'll hopefully have some barracks down soon.
No, well, considering that the pool hasn't even started, I think he might just be able to get away with being very, very greedy. He unsees everything that's going on now, though. These Overlord's going to just try and park himself behind the main mineral line, as he's got the waypoint rallied there. Second one is going behind the natural mineral line, so he's going to have good spots to see if any kind of drops come out. Usually the most common places for those to jump out of bases, and Hyun is actually going for a
look
third.
At that. Yeah, he actually was building an extractor, and he canceled it, deciding that he was going to delay this, and I was watching him really carefully, and then he threw down the extra hatchery at his third, still before spawning pool. So he gets over there, he scouted the fact that Clyde went for a quick command center, saw a somewhat late barracks, he's like, you know what, I can up you. I'm going to go straight to 3 hatcheries. What now, huh?
Yeah. And then you see Clyde go, oh, okay, I'll just beg a third command center. No, that's probably not going to happen.
MVP would do that, though.
Yes.
He loves that third command center.
Well, Clyde does notice the timing on this pool. And he's actually... No, I thought for some reason I thought there was a Marine running across the map. But no, it's just going to sit at the bottom of the ramp. And he is going to scout this third hatchery, though. Good decision-making by him just getting up there. And, ooh, a bunker, too. This could hurt. Yeah, in a long way. No way.
There are 2 more on the way, and Hyun scouts it like a boss.
That's he must have noticed that the SCV was gone. That's the only thing I can think of here. He's actually bringing more drones to try and kill off this bunker. Hasn't been able to take out the SCV just yet. He's got 2 lings on the way, only 1 queen, and there are Marines that were rallied across to try and take advantage of that bunker, but are going to back off. Smart choice, but look at this. There's only 2 lings. Even though he came across, did the bunker, pressured a little bit, Hyun's like, nope, I'm going to defend with drones and 2 lings.
He's calling his bluff, and he did it successfully. You can see that Clyde's gathering the Marines in the center of the map. He's going to check and see if Hyun delayed his Zergling speed, because it's one of those things he can do, is come in with a good number of Marines. If he doesn't have speed, he can micro pretty well, take out a lot of Zerglings, maybe get a queen or 2. But Hyun is still actually just making queens. He's got his first 2 out now. Zergling speed will be done soon, so if these Marines do actually poke in, he'll be able to pump out quite a few Zerglings in defense here.
And that's what he's doing. He's coming up here, Ryokun. There is going to be 6 Marines. There's a queen at the top of the ramp. He's going to have to try and get that away, but he can also be frustrating to this base, and it might actually get quite a few drones if he gets positioned right. Look at this by...
Oh, look at that! Just completely running around the Marines with the Queen and the drones. Clyde's just sort of like, what just happened? And there are a lot of Zerglings just about to pop out. There we go. They have Zergling speed, so now Clyde realizes this is going to be somewhat troublesome. He can't quite micro against these as well as he could.
No.
Cutting off the reinforcements, very well done. There's a lot of Zerglings out, and it looks like he should be able to save this hatchery without any problems.
Yeah, nice positioning on those lings. And oh, great choice by Hyun, sending half of his units behind the mineral line. And it's actually quite frustrating to do that a lot of the time because the Lings are so fast.
Yeah.
That being
they
said,
decide that they know the perfect pathing to go, and then they try to like go the opposite way that you tell them to because they're being smart. It's
Yeah.
like, no, stop that. But look at this. Clyde actually moving up to 3 factories here. Going to be moving into the mech play, but Hyun is just parking out here with his Zerglings saying, you know what, you made me make these, so I'm going to be annoying with them.
yeah.
And I'm going to try and delay this third base for as long as possible.
Well, going to work on the rocks now is a great choice. You can come in later. We do have Blue Flame on the way, of course. We do have 3 factories that happen during all of this up at the third base. Clyde also got his third command center going as well, so Blue Flame going to be very difficult for Hyun to deal with, especially since he's got a lot of those Lings on the field. Not all that good against a lot of Blue Flame Hellions, but he does have his Evo Chamber. No lair just yet.
Yeah, he has a pretty good number of drones. He's got double evolution chambers actually, just about to finish up. So he's going to be able to get started on these upgrades. I'm assuming he's just going to go for melee and carapace. Because that works with basically any of the late game units you transition into. Even if you wind up going for Broodlords, the Broodlings do a little bit extra damage. But we do have an armory on the way very quickly from Clyde. He hasn't actually started any upgrades yet, so he's either
the fact
going
he has 3
for really
factories
fast vehicle weapons, or he's going for a Thor.
No, it's definitely Thors with this. You don't have 3 factories and not going to Thors like that, and going to mech. It just doesn't happen. That being said, we do have the Lings actually spot the Blue Flame Hellions and are going to have to back off quite quickly. Baneling Nest isn't done yet. It's only just been started by Hyun, as he has been playing quite greedy. He's at 63 drones to 53 SCVs. And now he's going to have to deal with these Blue Flame Hellions. Actually, Scan going down and going to pick off those creep tumors. Can probably kill the Queen if he wants to as well, but prioritizing that creep.
I think he's just deciding that he'll give up the Queen if he needs to, just to buy some extra time to get more Zerglings out. And the Queen does barely survive, actually. And that is a lot of Zerglings. Oh, but nice shot from the Hellions, roasting almost all of them. And that means that Hyun is not going to be able to clear these out with some good flanking maneuvers. There's just not enough Zerglings left. But he has bought enough time for some Spine Crawlers to finish up. His Baneling Nest is done now, and he's making Banelings. So it's a good job by him buying enough time to be able to successfully hold this off.
Alright, so now that... He's going to come back in straight away with these, though. 16 drones in production just then.
Oh, nice scan. He scanned the high ground before he went up the ramp. Did not want to get caught off guard, and that would have been really bad if he ran right up in there to some of those Banelings.
Yeah. But double +1 is almost finished for the Lings, but it's not really going to help out that much. Oh, he's almost going to get a surround on this, but Clyde doing some nice control with this Hellions, going to get up that ramp, getting away from the Banelings here.
There is with the Queens, but they're just sitting there. They're also really low health. Banelings are coming in from behind, though, unstable. And if you can get a good contact with the Zerglings, get the Banelings in, that would be epic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Baneling for the dot! Oh my god, that was a very clutch Baneling right there. And he's actually got the 2 Queens still alive. That one paying off quite nicely for Hyun. But he still he's lost 76 units already here, Railcoon. Looking at the work counts.
Though. Like, look at the workers lost. There's 3 workers killed by Clyde. That was, even though he killed a ton of units, that was still pretty much a perfect defense from Hyun.
73 drones to 69 SCVs. We got an Overseer on the way. Baneling, we got pretty much every upgrade under the sun coming in here from Hyun. But he's also getting that missile attacks +1. Let's have a quick look at his vision here. Hasn't seen anything, but it's just an easy deduction to go to say he's going to need those roaches later on because of the mass Blue Flame Hellions that we saw, and a good read by Hyun, of course.
Well, he's also going to need them because of these Thors right here. There's 2 of them out right outside of his natural, and he's going to scout them. There we go. Overseer fly directly over. There's 2 more just about to finish, and he is using that armory to get really quick weapons upgrades. Thors scale very well the weapons upgrades. It's just a way, after effect of the way that they went through their balance changes. They increased their rate of fire, but never wound up adjusting the weapons upgrades. They actually take pretty huge damage increases from those weapons upgrades. When they hit level 2, they completely destroy mutas, even if they're magic boxed.
Yeah, we do have a Lings. Oh, are they going to get a surround on these Hellions? No way in hell. But look at this, Clyde is actually scouting with 2 of his barracks over here in the middle of the map. We do see a 4th coming up here for Hyun. The same here for Clyde though, so it's going to be difficult for for Hyun to try and get a map presence with all of this production that's going to be coming out from Clyde shortly. We do, of course, have vehicle weapons level 2, halfway done. And here come the Mutas now. Not going to be all that fun against the Thors, but he's still going to want to have like 5 to 10 just to deny any kind of frustration and keep scouting around the map a lot. All those extra
maybe just use those for drop defense at this point, because there's there's 4 Thors out on the field and 3 more on the way. He's actually massing Thors right now. Could be going for the 12 Thor timing attack. That was a big joking thing that I started in the beta with. I don't remember which European pro it was, but Thors are really good. Like, the more Thors you get, they just become, it's like a logarithmic scale. They are the definition of critical mass units in StarCraft 2. Once there's enough of them to ball up and you can't get a good surround on them, they just start tearing things apart.
Unless you're an ST and you just kill them with banelings. Hyun is trying to take out this command center and does lose a couple of mutas in the fray. While you were talking about that, I was just pointing out here on screen the tunneling claws and burrow is on the way, so we're going to see some burrowed roaches. That could actually work out quite well if Clyde doesn't actually have any detection with his army.
Yeah, like, it would be a good way if you can pop those up directly on top of the Thors. You can kind of get them to spread out a little bit, and then you can get some more surface area with some Zerglings that were to come in or something like that.
Oh, he just killed all of the lava at that hatchery. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. At the north.
Yeah. That's something that, you know, I've been waiting to see more of. Sometimes you come in to harass a base with Hellions and there's not much there, but there's like 10 larvae. Yeah. And just like a single shot from the Hellions will kill all those larvae. It can be a really big deal sometimes, and you still don't see many people doing it on purpose.
And here we go, Hyun's going for it though. Lots of Zerglings coming through. The tanks aren't siege, but there is just way too much mech here. And the roaches are clumped up. Those tanks are going to rip through them like no tomorrow. They do have burrow if they want to get away, but that was not a pretty engagement for Hyun.
No, there are just way too many Hellions out in front. He didn't do much damage to Thors. I think he got 1. The tanks sieged up pretty well, and the Hellions just soaked all the damage, while the Thors and tanks just sieged everything. You can see Hyun is trying to delay this push of mech forward so he can just get a few more units out on the field. There's 30 more roaches hatching right now. So he was able to delay this just a little bit, and maybe if he can get a better angle of attack here with the tunneling claws, he could be able to clear this out. But it looks like he's just going straight in, focusing down the Thors first, then going to try and swing over in on the tanks. He actually did get really good surface area here. The Hellions got caught completely off guard. We're not able to buffer this time. And even though he wasn't able to clear this out, he weakened it significantly.
Yeah, he does have Overlord drop and movement speed already researched as well, so he's going to be probably using that to his advantage. We got 28 more roaches in production, but Clyde is having a very nice bank coming up. He's gas starved at the moment, which is pretty common with this situation.
Yeah, nice job readjusting there by Clyde. His tanks were very vulnerable. The Thors had to come back to protect against the roaches. And you can see that he's just trying to cut off the reinforcements. Looks like he's going to give up his third base. He already has the one up at the 12 block position and transferred away the drones. But now he's got his units in a position where he might be able to try a flanking maneuver.
Yeah, it does look like it. One Thor out by his own. He's going to get picked off.
Oh, the tunneling claws! Jaws theme is playing right now. Oh, he backed off!
Wait. There's a group of like 5... Oh, no, he's going to back off too.
It looks like he was going to go for it. No, he's
coming back.
Again.
He's coming back. Is he going to come from the left as well?
Oh
He's got. Oh my God! If this.
It's going to pop up right on top of the.
They're going to be right underneath. He's even going to be from the right-hand side as well. This is going to be beautiful here by Hyun. Where is it going to happen? There he goes! Oh my God! Those tanks just instantly disappeared.
He has shown the burrow previously.
Yeah.
And when you're going for heavy mech like this, that's actually one of the things you have to watch out for. Sometimes when you see Master Roach with burrow, the Terrans will actually pick up a Raven just to try and stop these kinds of shenanigans. But Clyde hasn't quite gone for that. Does he have? He has a starport, but there's no tech lab on it. Just making Vikings actually predicting the Broodlords, but there are no Broodlords on the way.
We do have lots of Overlords with roaches in them, though.
Yeah, that could be good, but if he goes straight for the Ultras and skips the Broodlords, this could wind up being pretty bad for Clyde, because he's adding more starports now, too. Oh, that's a lot of Hellions to pull the clock.
Yeah, and I just got a quick shot of the 5 command centers, of course, in Clyde's base, because he had just such a big bank of minerals going up there. did get quite a few of those drones as well, so he is taking a very decisive lead. Here come the Overlords into the middle of the map, trying to go on top of these units, but there's just turrets and Vikings trying to deal damage to the Overlords. Is doing quite well though.
Yeah, that actually went surprisingly well. He is losing a lot of supply, and he lost some economy up there at the 12 o'clock. If you check out the income tab, they're both kind of low economy right now, so Hyun is going to have to be careful about doing those kinds of huge unit trades at this point in the game, because mechs and tanks are very cost effective. And when you start getting to these lower economy games, cost effectiveness becomes a really big deal.
Well, it's only going to be low economy for a second here because Hyun, Clyde is actually back on 2 bases now. He's going to have 4, 5, 6, 7 orbitals, 8 orbitals if he misses this one as well, and that just doesn't work out well.
Yeah, and Clyde is actually already researching the Viking weapons upgrades, so it's going to become kind of tough. It's going to be hard for Hyun to afford switching to Ultras at this point. So if he's going to go for Hive Tech, he's kind of going to be forced into Broodlords.
No, well, the game is pretty much over at this point. There is no way I see Hyun coming back from this. He did a nice job, but he just couldn't keep up with the production coming out from Clyde. And with these roaches, they are nicely upgraded at 2-2, but then the mech is 1-3 as well, and these tanks and Thors are just shredding through them like butter. Yeah. We got a lot of SCVs being transferred up here to the top right-hand corner. There's a lot of roaches coming up here as well, but I think once he realizes there's 2 bases here, they're both fully saturated. He's at 130 supply to 166. There's like 4 or 5 tanks in production at any one time.
Problem is, now his army's going to get trapped back here in the corner by Clyde. He's sweeping over, he's going to be able to siege up. He has the tunneling claws, but he's got enough orbitals to be able to throw down some scans.
Yeah.
That's not even a question right now. So these roaches are completely locked out. They're trapped in the corner. He's going to take out this base at the 12 o'clock since he's here anyways. And this is a really big problem for him right now.
Yeah, those hatcheries just drop instantly. And the roach is coming and trying to deal with this planetary, but there's so many SCVs, I don't think they have the damage to actually take it out. He's going to have to start targeting these SCVs shortly if he wants to have a chance at it.
The health is going up on this planetary fortress, but he's taken so long to try and start focusing the SCVs that a lot of the roaches have already died.
Yeah.
Now he's sending his army up to take care of this. He's like, enough of this crap, get out of here.
Yeah, so a very interesting game from both players so far, but I think we're going to see Hyun type out in a second. So that's pretty much it for game 1.
Yeah, he's still upgrading really well. He's adding the armor upgrades for his mech, getting level 2 air weapons. There's the GG. I like that Clyde just continued to steamroll. He was still preparing for the later stages of the game. He was very well prepared in case Broodlords were to come.
Yeah.
And he just never took it for granted that he'd already won the game. He kept going with his game plan.
Yeah, well, Hyun was doing a good job in trading, but it was never really coming up effectively for him. He couldn't secure those extra bases. You really needed to get some kind of extra hive tech going on in the end of there, just to help him get that edge, because mass roaches against pure mech works for a little bit, and then it just becomes really, really, really frustrating and pointless. But we're going to go into game number 2 between TSL's Hyun and Slayer's Clyde right now.
Hi, we are FXO team. You are watching FXO TV.
And here we go, game number 2 between TSL's Hyun and Slayer's Clyde for the FX Open Invitational Series, or upper bracket round 1. Clyde currently up 1-0 with a very nice game on Antigua Shipyards. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon, and this is going to be an interesting one. Dual site, and we were just joking in between the games here that everyone seems to lose and pick dual site. It's like, lose, pick dual site. Yep, repeat over and over and over again. So let's see what Hyun wants to do on this map, as he is, of course, up at the top right-hand corner as our blue Zerg. And Clyde down here at the bottom left as our red Terran. Now, Clyde did get away with a 15 command center in the last game. Hyun responded with like a double expanding. But he just really couldn't deal and keep up with the mech that was coming out from Clyde. Clyde ended up having like 10 command centers. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but pretty close too.
I'm not sure that was an exaggeration, because we counted the orbitals. He had 7. He had 1 that he couldn't afford to convert.
Oh, that's true.
In his main, and he had 2 planetaries. So I'm
far
sure
too many
10.
command centers to be fair.
So your attempt at exaggeration was actually accurate.
Yeah.
It gives you a good idea of what the last game was like. It's just he didn't tech enough. He did a really good job of delaying with roaches, but he never switched out of the roaches, even though he had been upgrading for different purposes. So
yeah. Well, you just had a hard time
down just to
the
pressure
economy.
Clyde's applying.
But that being said, we're not going to see that coming in from Clyde again. He's got his barracks at the top of the ramp, of course. No gas just yet, versus the 15 hatch coming out from Hyun. But I don't know, like, apparently Hyun practices a lot over in the TSL house.
Is that really surprising, considering, you know, his background?
Yes. It is surprising to me. I expected him to play 2 games a day and become a god at StarCraft.
Oh man. So,
but
I don't know.
Hyun's backed off here.
I kind of, like, in my head, I want to see Hyun versus MVP on Antigua in that situation. Just watch them, like, just keep upping the ante of the both of them throwing down command center hatcheries and never, like, actually
Yeah. But there does come a point where it's like, why do you have this many hatcheries? It is pointless. Like, there is that actual point, by the way. Unlike Terran, you just can't make as many drones, and it's pointless to have that many hatcheries because you just can't keep up with the lava.
Then you make queens.
Quiet you.
So, watching Hyun, he did actually just go for a pretty normal build here. You can see that his hatchery's finishing up. He does have a decent amount of gas. He is going to go for 100 and then pull all of his drones off his gas except for 1. So, he is still taking a little bit of gas, but it looks like he's going to be pumping out some Zerglings and just focusing really hard on his drones here.
Yeah, well, there's 3 Marines down the front, and with the double Queens coming out, he should be fine. I wouldn't be surprised to see him expand quickly yet again, because he has seen this command center with his Overlord. And with the double gas here from Clyde, there it is, there's a factory, so we'll probably see after this Marine comes out a reactor on that barracks, and a bunker's going down at the bottom of the natural. So very standard game so far.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what Hyun is going to choose to do, because he did scout that command center. In that last game, you know, going straight, being low, okay, that's a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, that is a lot of Zerglings, especially at this point in time. He's seen a command center, there's not going to be any pressure coming. You don't need that many Zerglings, especially with speed, to try and deal with these Marines.
Dan? Clyde isn't walled off.
What? Oh! Oh my god! He's moved! Oh, this is hilarious. If this works, I'm going to be laughing for 3 years.
I can't... This happens. I don't know why it continues to happen, but every once in a while a Terran chooses not to fully wall off, and then a Zerg player just runs in with...
No, that's okay, it's okay.
Okay, he's flying over... No. Oh my god! He started to wall off, and then he changed his mind, and now here comes the Zerglings. He's sending a SB up. Oh, he barely gets the wall down.
But he's got a full surround on that bunker here, Railcoon, and there's nowhere near Hellions ready, and because the supply depot is building, he can't repair it, and he's gonna get into the base!
Oh my god, why do you still do this, Unstable? Oh my god, he is in. The Hellions are not out yet. He's taking down a lot of SCVs. There are more and more Zerglings flooding forward. Hellions are now finally out, but the Zerglings are getting... He might be able to get us around. The last of the SCVs are down. That's it. This wall against Zerglings.
A perfect storm for Hyun coming out right then. Oh my god. Just wanted to put pressure on the natural, force him to lift up, which is a smart idea, by the way.
Yeah.
But just completely locked out. There's the GG. Hyun takes game 2. Oh my god, did that just happen?
Yeah, it keeps happening. The Terran player tries to skimp, and it always happens to be the one time that the Zerg player decides he's going to pressure with Zerglings. It never works.
Oh my god, okay. Well, we are now tied 1-1 then. Let's go into game 3 and see what happens.
My name is Dong-Young Lee, StarCraft ID FXOlino. You're watching FXOpen television.
And here we go, game 3 between TSL's Hyun and Slayer's Clyde, and I am still laughing at that last game and what happened. Hyun completely, pretty much locked out the fact that Clyde had, like, that 3 seconds or so, that he had that opening to get up that ramp, he did so, especially...
I think that comes down to, like, Hyun just messing with Clyde's head a little bit. Like, because he scouted the same thing, same kind of opening from Clyde. And, well, the previous game he went straight for a third hatch, so Clyde thought he was safe and delaying his wall off a bit, and then, surprise, 30 Zerglings.
Well, even 30 Zerglings at that point in time is probably going to take out that expansion anyway. Will force it to lifting it back up into his base, because he got in with his drone, and he did notice that there was no gas.
Yeah, you could tell that he wasn't expecting that to happen because the first thing he did was go after the bunker. He didn't even like just run straight for the ramp. Like, why would the ramp be open? But after he forced the commander to lift off, he's like, hey, let's check out the ramp. Wait, you're not done walling this building? Okay, I'll just kill it. Break in.
Anyway, that being said, it looks like we are going to have a 15 hatch coming out here from Hyun yet again. And Clyde going for the same build as last game. I'm sure he will be a little bit smarter this time. Well, actually, he doesn't have to be. He can make the reactor without moving the barracks. The joys of different starting positions for Terrans. Yes, it is actually frustrating sometimes for them to play games. But
he could have done that sooner. Or I mean, he almost landed the barracks right in the wall, which would have solved all of those problems. Would have bought him enough time to get the Hellions out.
Yeah.
But he just thought he was safe. There was no reason for him to think otherwise because of the way that Hyun had reacted the previous game. So, I mean, that last game went really well for Hyun. It was really quick, free win for him almost. And it really makes Clyde have to, well, rethink his early game here. He's going to have to play a little bit more safely. He might be a little bit more tentative. And we'll see if Hyun actually tries to take advantage of that or not.
Yeah, his drone is actually going to do and make an extractor there because he wasn't going to get away anyway. Might as well stay in the base. And looks like we do have command center going down for Clyde. So just something I was noticing here that Hyun was a little bit late on putting his drones into gas. He's only just now got 3 on there.
Yeah, he's delayed his gas in most of these games except for the last one where he went straight for the speedlings. But
well, it's actually going to work out quite well here because he's probably going to get 100 right when it comes through. Bam.
Slightly delayed, but it's pretty close. And yeah, there we go. Zergling speed does get started. He got double queens out once again as he pulled all of his drones off, except for the one. He doesn't need a whole lot of gas production right now, but he does want to keep it going just a little bit so he can tech later on. This is very, very standard way of opening up for a Zerg player. And I'm just waiting to see. You think we'll see mech again from Clyde? This is a pretty good map for mech.
Yeah, it definitely does seem to be his trend recently, and he makes it work too. Like, it's very difficult to defend against, especially when you do what the way Clyde does. Very crisp, very clean, as with all his players, to be honest. So
the thing about mech is like it's just there's very little margin for error. If you're out of position once and you lose too many units, that can lose you the game.
Yeah.
So you have to be very precise and crisp with it. Otherwise, you just lose.
Yeah.
But he seems to be doing quite well with it recently. And yeah, there's a second factory. The layout of this map is pretty good for mech. Before these rocks in the center of the map go down, it's really tough for your opponent to swing around and do any really good flanking maneuvers on you until you get right up in his face. So you can really lock down a lot of the map with the mech, do a nice good slow push. Just make it really difficult.
Yeah, it does. But that being said, there is a third queen.
Reactor.
Ooh. Fun times.
That's interesting. Is he going to go for, like, 4 Hellions at once?
That does actually catch a lot of people off guard a lot of the time. Like, so many Hellions just showing up. Like, the Hyun will have to have Banelings. Like, there's no other way around it. Have an amazing wall off for one, and then, like, just an amazing amount of Banelings and Lings to deal with it.
Yeah, he's switching the second factory onto it, so he's going to go for the huge, overwhelming amount of Hellions try and catch Hyun off guard. This is something, like you said, it catches people off guard because you don't see it very often.
Yeah.
Most of the time you see a few Hellions, you see a lot of them, it's like he's got the reactor on it, okay, whatever. But actually, Hyun already has a Baneling Nest on the way and a macro hatch instead of a third base. So he could be in a really good position to hold this off. He's setting up the Baneling Nest in a position where it's going to start setting a choke point right there in front of his hatchery. He's got spine crawlers on the way as well. If he continues to choke this off, gets a few Banelings, he should be fine.
Well, behind this, he's actually getting a tech lab on a barracks, which I'm not sure if he's just going to transfer this over again or just go for any upgrades there. But he hasn't gotten gas down in his natural. He's got 4 Hellions coming up to the natural, 4 more following up behind it. There's only that one spine crawler. And it's not really walled off as to the levels that you see Lenok get there. Because the Hellions can still run past if they want to. Oh, almost got the creep tumor.
He does have an evolution chamber that's just about to finish up. and he has a second queen in the area, so if he drops another evolution chamber, that creep tumor is annoyingly in the way. You can see he has to kind of go around it, throwing down this roach warren, forces him to make another spine crawler here just to choke this off a little bit better. That's at the point where you might want to just kill that creep tumor so you can set your wall up better and then make a new one later. But here comes the Hellions. That is rolled off quite nicely. And that is just so many Hellions. He's going to try and brute force his way through, completely ignoring the spine crawler. First queen comes down. Another one comes to fill the gap, though. Nicely done there.
Transfuse your queens, buddy. There we go. He actually missed the transfuse on that first queen, forcing it to die. It probably wouldn't have if he'd gotten it off sooner. But yeah, he did defend that quite nicely. But it's the follow-up that's going to be frustrating. We got stem on the way. We got these factories moved across into tech labs as well, so we got tank production coming. Lots of barracks here as well, so it's going to be the follow-up that Hyun's going to be frustrated with.
Hyun actually just running an overseer over all of those buildings right now after he completed all the switching. The exact moment he started that tech switch, he scouted it, so he's well aware he's going to be able to change his own tech patterns accordingly. You can see that he had that roach warren down because of all of the Hellions.
Nice scan straight on top of the spire, though.
Yeah. It did force him to throw down a spire, and then of course Clyde scouts that, so both players have a really good read on what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Still no third base from Hyun though. Like the Hellions are going to make him a little bit nervous about that, but he probably does want to be trying to get that down soon. If he doesn't get that third started, he is going to have a hard time with this.
Very true. But the thing that frustrates me when I see this situation is the Zerga's just contained. He cannot move out until those mutas show up. Spy's only halfway there. He's saturated on both bases. He's more than saturated. 59 drones already.
That is a lot of Zerglings, and there is no blue flame, so he might be able to try and catch these Hellions in the center of the map.
Yeah.
A lot of them have already died, so it looks like he's going to try and set up this hatchery and see if he can catch
Clyde
the
says,
Hellions.
No!
Yeah, but the drone does get forced away and actually killed. So third base being delayed even more. Look at the resources of Hyun. He cannot actually spend them fast enough, even though he's injecting all three of them. All three of his hatcheries. Actually, he's not injecting his main at all, now that I look at it. There we go. But he needs that third base down, if only just for more larvae and somewhere to send these drones once his main mine's out.
You'll probably see him double expand as soon as he secures the middle of the map now. And try and keep up that way, because he really wants to get that gas going. That's really his main issue right now, is he has no gas to spend with his minerals. His ratio is completely skewed. And here come the mutas, so he can finally move out.
Yeah, but the command center for Clyde is almost done for his third base at this point.
Yeah.
So Clyde's actually going to be up bases here for a short while. If he can get this over pretty quickly. That army from Clyde is actually quite strong. It's going to be difficult for Hyun to deal with because he doesn't have a whole lot of banelings. Does he have the baneling speed? I didn't see it get... Okay, yeah, it did get upgrade. Just wasn't paying enough attention.
Clyde lost a lot of those Hellions in the middle of the map to the mutas there, though. It's going to happen at one point or another during this game. We do see a lot of Lings and a couple of banelings, not as many as you'd expect when you do see the marine sizes over here for Clyde. But they're both relatively even in supply. It's just frustrating to see this 1400 gas up here for Hyun.
Oh my god. That was really scary for Clyde there. Hyun backed off instead of going for it because he was not sieged at all. If Hyun had gone for that and got a good surround, he could have wiped that out with the banelings and the mutas. But it looks like some of his units weren't properly positioned, so he didn't want to go for it. Interestingly enough, Clyde's going for the center of the map expansion instead of the usual third base.
Yeah.
You see players do this sometimes when they want to make a planetary fortress, just to lock down a portion of the map, but he has it as an orbital.
Yeah, and it hurts me to see this up in the top right-hand corner. It just really hurts. I mean, he's almost got 2k minerals, and you just can't spend it.
And there's baneling mines being set up all over the place by Hyun. And yeah, he just needs more hatcheries. He can't spend it all. He is incapable of spending it because he just doesn't have enough. And he has been skipping some of the injections on his queens, which is probably not helping. And he's moving into an infestation pit, but he's just so strapped for gas, there's not much he's going to be able to do with infestors or even hive tech at this point.
Yeah, he's going very heavy on the upgrades. He's actually getting Overlord movement as well. But yeah, as you're saying, I'm really surprised he just hasn't dropped 2 hatcheries. Like one at least. because there's no way he's going to use that money anyway. He might as well get it out of the way. But it looks like he's going to try and catch a couple of Marines. No, Clyde does back off.
Oh, his Hellion gonna roasty toasty some of these banelings a little bit, soften them up, see, make it a little bit easier. And I mean, that noise you keep hearing about every 50 seconds, that's Hyun making a changeling every time these overseers have energy. He's been doing a really good job of it. He's actually gotten some really good scouting information out of it, but Clyde's been killing them pretty quickly.
Looks like he's going to try and bait into this baneling mine here as he denies the 4th base for Clyde.
That baneling mine's pretty far away. It'll be tough to get
actually,
them all
no,
the
they're
way out
Zerglings.
there.
They're actually Zerglings. I didn't actually pay attention, but here we go. Good. Nope. Nope, Clyde wants none of it. Goodbye.
What didn't blow it up?
What?
Oh, come on. Dude, that was perfect. The entire Marine force, every single Marine was centered over those 2 banelings.
This game is not going well for Hyun whatsoever.
That hurts. Okay, here we go. Try number 2. More baneling mines. Oh no, don't come into the Zergling. He's gonna scan now. Oh no. Oh. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see, he scans.
Yeah.
He was gonna go up without scanning, but since the Zerglings came in, it was too obvious.
He caught
as
both
bait.
of them as well. Now, Hyun is pretty much maxed out, 186 versus Clyde's 185. But looking at the upgrades here, we have +2 for the infantry, +2 for the mech. He's reburrowed some banelings here, but we'll probably see that actually be scanned out compared to the 2-2 and the 0-1 for Hyun. So he's up on the upgrades.
These 2 banelings here, actually, they got scanned, but he never killed them. And oh my god, he's getting.
Come on,
really
just do it,
close.
just once.
Oh my! And those 2 over in front of his 3rd base are still there.
Yeah.
And that could be really dangerous because he walked over that area earlier and it was safe.
Yeah.
I could catch him off guard. He's so close to those banelings, and I see Hyun selecting them. He's ready this time, but Clyde's just teasing him. Just like, I know there's banelings here, so I'm just gonna walk near them and then back off.
Yeah. We are at Hive already. We get the +2 attack for the mutas. I think there's one Marine just shooting all the all the drones back here for a little bit. And
Yeah,
plus,
this is actually really dangerous for Clyde. If you
oh
look.
come on, he missed it again.
Those baneling mines there,
Yeah.
they're actually inside a sensor tower now. So if Clyde's army goes over there, he's gonna have no reason to suspect scanning there.
No, I mean down here at the 4th. He missed another baneling mine opportunity. Hopefully he'll get it later on. But here comes Hyun up at the 3rd base. He's going to try and deny this. And a lot of Clyde's army is out of position, so he might actually get it done. He's coming straight into the siege tanks. Zerglings everywhere, but the Marines are right behind him, and the banelings are just all gone. And he is going to be down 50 supply now.
In the tanks, he actually focused almost all those banelings down before they got anywhere near the tanks. This is... Oh man. Imagine how much this game would be different if Hyun had hit that one baneling mine. Oh, that tank is 4 health!
There we go, come on! Oh, that was disappointing. Didn't actually get as many as I liked. We got 6 infestors on the way though, of course. As Hyun now does have a bank of like 5k minerals. He's got one baneling running across. He does scan these 2, and look at this, he's actually backed off away from the scan. Nicely done by Hyun.
Oh, here comes the banelings, but the siege tanks are able to siege up in time. Clyde's reactions are just too good right now against these banelings. Hyun is in a world of trouble.
Thor's at the front. No one's getting through that. Baneling's exploding on the Thors. Hyun is falling apart right now.
Yeah. Just imagine this game would be completely different if he didn't miss those baneling mines earlier. It was the perfect opportunity. You can see he's coming in for a last-ditch attack, but the Thor is soaking a lot of damage. Some good
Infestors are here now. Oh, that one works!
That was a nice fungal. Oh! Oh, that was a money fungal right there. That's going to do, you know, it's going to help a lot to keep him in here, but there's reinforcements coming in large amounts from Clyde, so he's got to get that again. And he's down to only 10 banelings, so this is going to be very difficult for him.
Yeah, he's still banking a lot of resources, 130 supply to 1